Okay, so the next part of this are our phonics pages. We included 10. You can choose to do them one a day. You can choose to only do school 4 days a week, give them a day off, whatever you choose. But there are 10. Some of them are cut and paste. Some of them are not. This one, for example, is not. These are for diagraphs. So we're just going to go through every page and explain what they would do. For this one, they would say this is a shirt. I would have my kiddos color the shirt nicely. And then you color in the diagraph you hear in shirt, which would be the SH diagraph. You color in the dot. And then over here, in their very best handwriting, they write the word shirt. So that's what they would do for this phonics page. Okay, this one right here is your middle vowel sounds. Something that I know some of us in kindergarten do is when they're listening for sounds on CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant words, we have them put it on their arm. For example, this is mat. So they would say at. And we want them to know, what is that middle vowel sound? It's a, so A says a. So they would write the letter A in the middle, and you would also have them color. Coloring is a big skill in kindergarten. It really works those fine motor skills and helps them in the future with handwriting. And this is another one that if you don't have anything to write on, write a story on the back. Maybe you can do this phonics page on Tuesday and then do your story on the back on Tuesday. The only drawback of that is there are no lines, and sometimes our kindergarten friends have a really hard time writing in a straight line. So maybe you could use a ruler or a straight edge to create some lines on the back. Okay, this page right here is a rhyming page. So they would tell you what these are, be, mop, lock, all those things, and then find the words that rhyme with the upper pictures, cut them out, and glue them up. If you don't have access to scissors or glue, you don't have to cut. You could draw lines, you could draw your own picture like lock. The word that rhymes with lock is sock, so they could draw a sock, or even better yet, they could try to sound out the word sock. It's okay if they don't get the CK, as long as they get a K or a C, because we learned both of those say the hard K sound. All right, this one is for ending sounds. I understand, I'm sorry it got a little cut off, but we're gonna make it work. Once again, color the pictures in your very best coloring. Try to stay in the lines. Try not to color it like this house right here or this desk right here. Maybe not color it all one color. The snail for sure. Don't color it all one color. Use your imagination. On this one, same thing. We would put it on our arm like book, book. The ending sound is on your wrist. What sound do you hear? It's okay if they put a K or a C, as long as it's the hard K sound. All right, this one, we are learning about the long E sound. We call this, in my class, we call this the double E, says E, and we do that with our hands. So for this one, if you don't have scissors and glue, you can write the words next to it, easy. If you do have scissors and glue, you cut across the bottom, cut on the lines. What I would have them do is separate all the double E's out, separate the other letters out, and then build the words next to the picture. Another activity you could do is write sentences using the words. My sheep is white. I see a bee. The tree is green. My Jeep goes fast. I have missing teeth. Something like that. All right. This is just practicing those CVC words. Once again, when we write CVC words or we decode CVC words, some of us like to put it on our arm to make sure we are hearing all of those sounds. If you notice these boxes, some of them are small. We write lowercase letters. Some of them are tall. That is for a tall lowercase letter that touches the top line, like a lowercase t, a lowercase l. These are letters that dig in the dirt. This is a map, so this would be your lowercase p. Make sure when they're writing all of these, they are using lowercase letters. This is just another CVC practice page. Once again, we want to make sure they're coloring nicely. You can use the back to write your story, draw your picture, whatever else you want to do that day. Okay, something else we're learning in kindergarten is about the sneaky E or the silent E as we learned it in school. And in this one, we teach them that the sneaky E doesn't say anything, and it goes and makes the vowel say its long vowel sound. So this has a picture of a kite. So what they would do is figure out which one of these two words says kite. They would color it in neatly and then write the word in their very best handwriting on the line. Another extra activity you could do with this is write sentences with those. Think of words that rhyme with these. There's lots of different things you can do. This is not a cut and paste. Write stories, draw pictures on the back. No wasted space on paper. All right, this is a cut and paste for blends. This is the SK blend, sk like skunk, st like stamp, sp like spoon. Once again, we would color. You listen to each beginning blend. Now, sometimes like spider, we ask, what is the beginning sound of spider? Sometimes they want to say s. The beginning sound of spider is sp. So what we do then is we stretch that word out, spider. I have them look at my lips and they'll see that my, like for sock, it's sock. Your mouth says the s sound. But for spider, it says, it automatically goes to make that P sound. Sometimes it's helpful if they do it in a mirror or they watch you say it. Once again, if you don't have scissors and glue, you could have them draw the picture or even try to decode the words. It's okay if they don't spell them right. It's better on words like spider and star, all these. It's better if they try and use inventive spelling. We try not to help our kids too much. Now, if it's something they should know, if there's a double E, we might, what makes the long E sound, give them advice, but we try not to spell it for them. Just another one of those diagraph papers, same as the first. Okay, so those are your 10 phonics papers. All right, along with handwriting, this is practice numbers 0 through 20. This is a kindergarten tick on the report card. Once again, we only sent one of these. If you cannot make copies, do these on the back of a paper, whatever you can do. When we're writing our numbers, we're focusing, I know they look backwards to you right now, but that they are not backwards. These teenage numbers right here in 20 and 10, they need to have no spaces between the numbers. If they're writing these single digit numbers, they do need to have spaces. And I go back to, I write 2 1s next to each other and I ask them what that is. They'll say that's 11. That's when we put spaces between each number. All right, we also included some math problems. Addition and subtraction is something that we have just recently gotten into in kindergarten. I'm going to be making some videos of some games and maybe some tips and tricks on how to do those. But there's some addition and subtraction worksheets. I know for these, you can use manipulatives at home if you have extra pennies, if you have buttons, beans, torn pieces of paper, anything you have at home. You can talk about, you can build them on the table and they can physically move the pieces. We like to focus on looking at the sign. When we see the plus sign, it means we're going to bring things together. When we see the minus sign, we're going to start with the big number and then take away. Let's see. These are just practice pages. On this one, they would answer the questions and then follow the key and color the picture. When they color the picture, we like to make sure they color all the way to the lines, leaving no white spaces. This is a cut and paste. They answer it, they find the matching set. If you don't have scissors and glue, they can draw a set. For example, this is 3. They could draw 3 hearts, 3 stars, whatever they want to do. For this one, they're going to write their numbers in order, starting with this first blank, which is 0. We want to make sure when they're doing this that the numbers are not backwards. Down here, you would need to help with most of them to read the directions. As they are counting the dots, I like to have my kiddos mark them, draw a little line through them. Just that way they don't get lost. They don't double count something. It just is a way to help them stay on track. For example, for this one right here, I would have them draw the lines and count them, and then maybe in a little handwriting right here, write the number that they got in that one. Even if they get to the square with 16 dots first, which is this one, so they would count this one, even if they say, oh, that one has 16, that's the answer, they need to go ahead and count this one to make sure they didn't make a mistake. That's a really good habit to get in for future grade levels. This is just a number writing. practice. This one won't take long. We start with 1. We want to follow the arrows and go in order. This might be against some of them because we're so used to going, you know, left to right, left to right. So that'll take some thought for some of our friends, but just make sure our numbers are not backwards. More counting. This is place value. They should know that this is a tens rod. So something we can work on, we don't have to do, is start with 10, 11, 12, 13. If they still need to count, if you can see, if they still need to count the individual ones units in that tens rod, that's all right. But a good skill to work on with this sheet is starting at 10 and counting forward. 20 is going to be a little tricky. That's okay. You can work on it. Once again, if you don't have scissors and glue, they can write the number. That's more writing practice. These last 2 pages are the same idea. It's building sets, and so it tells you how many to draw in your 10 frame. When you're making sets in a 10 frame, it's just like you're writing sentences. You start in the first square on the left, and you fill in the top. Then you go to the next one, fill in the next one, and so on and so forth. That's the same on both. Okay, so that is all the papers in our packet. I know that's a lot, but go back and watch the video if you have any questions. On the bottom of this paper, we also included 3 websites you can go to just get some fun in on the computer. One of the things that all of our kids do most every day is Raz Kids. You might hear them talk about Raz Kids. This is a really great resource if we're stuck at home to practice reading. It is on their between instructional and independent level. This sheet right here is everything you need to know about logging into Raz Kids. When they log in, they're going to click on their name. Everybody's password is the bunny. So they're going to click on the bunny. It is very important to do. You have to listen to it, you have to read it, and then you take the quiz. This letter explains everything you do. If they miss a question on the quiz, no big deal. It gives them the opportunity to click on the red X. We really like them to go back and listen and read again. Like I said, it's going to look different because before it wasn't the same, for the most part, it wasn't on the same level as what we do in their guided reading lessons. So for my class, I kind of put them where they need to be for working on their reading. So it is going to be a little bit more difficult at first. It's very important that you do not read the books for them. The computer can read the books for them, or the phone can read the book for them. If they have any questions, feel free to guide them through that question, but try not to give them the answer. I know that's really difficult for our kids, but that's how we help them, is we guide them through things. Okay, like I said, I know that was a lot of information. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions, please email us at our school email addresses or send us a remind message. Look, there will be some more videos posted today, and I can't wait to see you.